Tell me, what was your love life like before you signed up with the 5 shifts process? What was happening?
So I was single for about 3 years, and I guess I convinced myself that I didn't really need anyone, that I was fine by myself, and I was a strong, independent career woman, and I didn't financially, need to rely on anyone, and so that was kind of my narrative that I had going on in my mind. But at the same time, I think I was very lonely and desperately did want a relationship. And I suppose as you get a bit older, that's something that you start thinking about a little bit more seriously. So that was where I was before I met you.
And Jenna, what did you try before? Like, what was happening in your relationships? Was there a pattern?
Yeah, I tried online dating, various paid or unpaid dating apps, kind of dating events, I guess. Sometimes meet people in real life, but I wasn't really meeting a lot of quality men. And in my years of being single, the common thing was me. If you had a look at all of that, what does it come down to? The one commonality was me and the patterns that I had, and I really was conscious of trying to work on those and trying to get to the bottom of what was actually driving some of those behaviors and why I was continuing to get the same outcome.
Okay. And then you signed up with us, but I want to know from you, what sort of changed for you in the initial couple of weeks while we were busy with the internal work and transformation?
Yeah, I think the way the course is structured is really good, and that focus, first on yourself and doing that internal work. I think I was really determined to make a change, and that really was the motivating factor. Some of the benefits would have been just a better appreciation and understanding of yourself, and really digging a little bit deeper and understanding why you behave in certain ways.
What was some of your biggest internal shifts? Like your big aha moments?
Right. Yeah, I had a few. I realized that I completely numbed up my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of carried on with work, and that was my kind of standard operating practice, was just, work hard, keep that going, and then when you're home alone and you're feeling lonely, or to be to numb it out and not really feel what you're feeling. And so I probably at the same time as I started the course, I started doing a lot of yoga. I focused on wellness quite a lot as well, and I was just finding ways to, I guess, deal with or feel emotion instead of numbing it out. So there was a very positive, emotional journey, but also physical journey and wellness journey for me as well. So that was really, really positive. I guess some of the other aha moments were around, this vulnerability shield that we all have, and it's there for a reason, and it's trying to protect you. And I think as soon as you understand that, and it just puts a lot of your behavior in context, and then it's something that you can actually work on. So yeah, there were so many great tools as well. I had one of those boards that I kind of wrote everything down, and I had my goals and everything that was right up there, and my vision statement, and it was something that I looked at often and used a lot of the tools. So it was really useful.
I love what you said about, starting to take care of yourself, because I think that's what naturally happens when, we step into self-love and self-appreciation. Then automatically my behavior towards myself changes. So I don't have to sort of put myself on a strict diet and, punish myself, but I rather want to take care of myself and want to love myself, because I know I'm so deserving and worthy of that. And when we step into that self-love, then other people will also treat us the same, the way that we treat them. So I love that you said that. And yes, the vulnerability shield, massive, because that's what keeps us from connecting with a guy, right? Is we've continuously have that shield up. that's sort of causing us not to open up and not to connect.
Mm.
So what's life like after the program? I mean, when did you finish? About a month ago? 2 months?
Yeah. About a month ago, I guess. I've met someone who I think is the love of my life. He
Woo!
is a yay, it works. Yeah, I'm really just so happy. It's been such an amazing journey because you kind of, I just feel like I was absolutely my authentic self. I communicated, I was vulnerable, I did everything, that was, was part of the material, and it really just worked. And we've just had such a great connection, and been seeing him for about 6 weeks now, and it's going really, really well.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. And it worked because you did the work, right? You were really committed. Without sort of like prying into your personal relationship with him, I just want to know what's different this time. Like, how does this, like, just explain to the ladies? Because I think a lot of times people look at this and say, yeah, well, it's 6 weeks, it's still new. And it is still, guys are still getting to know them. But I want to know for you, you've been in other relationships before, a couple, right? You're 35.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
What feels different for you this time?
I went into this very consciously, having identified through all the work what my values were, what my needs were, and I was, that was on the front of my mind, when you were meeting men and when you were dating, and there were certain deal breakers and things that I'd fleshed out through the exercises of things that really made me unhappy in the past, and some of those things were, a lack of emotional intelligence for me was something that was really a deal breaker. Someone who's very unkind or super critical of you, and then it brought out all these things that I really value myself, and things like just laughing and having fun, and we laugh and have so much fun all the time. It's hysterical, and so it really does feel very different. I'm absolutely myself all the time. We're super silly with each other. We are just completely open. We communicate really, really well, and I just feel like I'm being my absolute authentic self with him. Whereas in past relationships, it's you've kind of, I don't know, half settled on things and gone, oh, it just hasn't been a fully genuine, authentic connection. And I think being vulnerable and I've told him things I don't think I've told anyone else in my life, anyone before, which has been, it's created a really safe space, and yeah, I'm really lucky. He's a very emotionally intelligent man, and a deep thinker and very intelligent as well. So it's just been a really good match, and I think we realized very quickly when we were being authentic and what we wanted and what we needed. We're just really upfront about it, and there's no playing games. We just kind of knew.
That's so beautiful. Thank you. Anything else that you'd like to say?
I guess, working with Veronica was also really good. I really enjoyed my sessions, and that was really powerful as well.
So for those of you that don't know, Veronica is our resident psychotherapist. So she works with us in the group, and she does one-on-one sessions. And yeah, I do agree with you. Without those sessions, if we don't sort of change what's happening at the core, psychologically, subconsciously, no amount of dating advice is going to help you, because when you're sort of in that critical situation where you need to be vulnerable and open, and you haven't dealt with what's blocking you, then you are going to self-sabotage, right? Like you've been doing in previous relationships. So this is such a beautiful story. And, what I love about this is, I have your post also in my Facebook group. Love in the time of Corona is actually possible. You guys met each other at a very difficult time in life. But you guys have connected, and you've proven that, your love life does not have to be under quarantine, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Thanks
Yeah,
so
and
much.
it really does work. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for developing this this awesome course. It's been really epic.